Remember, the left's modus operandi is to accuse you and me of doing and saying exactly what they themselves are doing and saying. It's simple projection. The thief thinks everyone else is a thief too. It stands to reason, therefore, that to know what the left is thinking, you need only find out what they're saying you're thinking. Further, if you know what they're calling you, then you know what they themselves are. They've long been accusing you and me of being racists, Nazis, fascists, and a whole host of other horrible things. This is Dr. Avenir. This troubles me immensely. It's well known that if the left accuses you and me of doing or being something horrible and nefarious, it's because they themselves are doing and being the horrible thing or things of which they're accusing you and me. The thief, for example, because he's a thief and he understands how and why he's a thief, he suspects everyone else of being a thief too. It's simple projection. It stands to reason, therefore, that to know pretty accurately what leftists are doing and who they are being, you need to know what they're accusing you and me of doing and being. So what are they accusing you and me of? Well, you and I are racists, Nazis, fascists. We hate women and children. We're white supremacists and bigots, and so on and so forth. It seems evident, and I think recent events and utterances bear this out, that the left, therefore, has a very large contingent of actual fascists and Nazis in their midst. And while these extremist whack jobs might be a minority, such whack jobs are always a minority in any nation. They're also a very vocal, very energetic, very motivated, fanatical, easily incited, jumpy, violent minority. It was this way in the Russia of the early 20th century, where the Bolsheviks were a tiny minority of the entire socialist movement. However, and relatively easily, they took over the entire movement and the country itself, because they did not have any qualms about using violence, atrocities, and mayhem in order to achieve their aims, and there was no meaningful pushback from anywhere else on the left at that time. The leftmost of our American political left are the same way. The summer of 2020 showed us that rather glaringly. The left does not consist overwhelmingly of intelligent people. The general left, that is. These are not people who will mount any kind of meaningful defense against the far left from entirely overwhelming them. How else do you explain an AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or a Bernie Sanders? How else do you explain the positions in favor of child mutilations and castrations gaining increasing favor on the left? Those things are Mengele-like experimentation on children that might make the Nazi doctor Josef Mengele himself recoil in horror. Does anyone see any meaningful pushback whatsoever against these grotesqueries coming from the far left? And I don't mean red-pilling leftists like Bill Maher or increasingly Anna Kasparian. These are people moving rapidly rightward. Has anyone seen any slowdown or retreat in the overall left's headlong rush ever leftward? The intellectually fat, flaccid, dull, thick, drooling, slack-jawed general left is being dragged ever more rapidly leftward by the small but loud and energetic hard leftists. I don't see anyone on the left who might be capable of checking that precipitous careening. The intellectual left is a rotting, ramshackle, creaking and groaning zombie-like edifice which would fall of its own accord if it weren't given regular transfusions of hard leftist, increasingly hysterical serum. Proof? Easy. From time to time, prominent leftist, quote, intellectuals, end quote, give the game away, saying that everyone knows that leftist reasoning is all hogwash. But, they say, it also sells to the teeming throngs of American people who don't study this kind of thing in depth. So the left still uses it. You can think of Anna Kasparian recently, Peter Boghossian, and James Lindsay, especially James Lindsay as well. Many of these leftists become former leftists. They end up reviewing all the other things they used to believe that came from the left and realize that those things are codswallop too. However, it seems inevitable to me that the actual fascists and Nazis in America, the hard leftists, will certainly take over the American left and the Democratic Party entirely, because there's certainly not enough intellectual firepower there to prevent that from happening. Please let me know what you think. Type in your comments below. Do you think the hard left will take over the general left entirely? And if so, what do you think will bring that about? If not, what do you think will prevent it? Also, please like, share, and subscribe. As you know, that helps us with the algorithm, and that helps to move the channel forward. If you like this kind of content, we do appreciate all the help that you can give us. Thank you so much.